from me.
All right. Goodbye.
We won't. No.
Can't do it today, unfortunately, because we got ourselves a decent show planned. The Ace Man, Mr. Adam Carolla, will be on with us later today. Also, Brownie Blends, a.k.a. the Baller's Barber. Guy cuts the hair of some of the biggest names in all of Bay Area sports. He cut Barry Bonds' hair when he had a small head and when he had a huge head, I believe.
Must have been an adjustment.
Well, he's got to get bigger shears. I think he has to go gardening shears for the second Barry Bonds. How dare I insult Barry Bonds here in the Bay Area, where he's loved by all. We've got lots to get to, lots to give you, and do not send another emoji until you hear this newest report. Old people trying to inform other old people on what young people are doing. And last time we got around, it was probably 6 months ago, we had a news report about what emojis meant. And they were saying things like, eggplant could mean penis, so be careful.
Salad means unprotected sex.
Right. Well, there's a whole new batch, and I can't wait to find out what the media is sharing with the elderly. It's old people talking to old people, trying to, of course, they'll probably sprinkle in the word millennial as often as possible.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
Love doing that. The only thing that bothers me more than an old person saying the word selfie, because that bothered me so much. Mm-hmm. They put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable and everything, and then they started doing the whole millennial. Ugh, it makes my skin crawl.
When they read Twitter, when they read people's tweets and they're like, and DJ 47.5 Apple said, they just sound so awful, lame.
We'll get to that later. I'm very excited because I think we're going to all learn a lot, which is really why we do this show. It's an educational program. People don't necessarily give us credit for that, but it truly is, and it's nonprofit. I don't know if you know that. They're trying to make a profit. They just haven't figured out a way to yet. So
someday.
We're officially a non-profit at this point here at Live 105. We'll give you
like
some
a soup kitchen.
Free drugs later today as well, and the return of forced commencement. I didn't realize, but we've been slacking because I think I know you just attended your girlfriend's graduation last week, and now we've got all these different graduations that are happening over the next few weeks in the Bay Area. Some that are happening the day of BFD. People saying they're hoping to graduate early so they can get the hell out of there and get the BFD. We need to go ahead and force ourselves to speak at a giant gathering of people.
I have never felt more confident that we need to be at somebody's commencement after actually going to one.
Oh, yeah.
Anything to shake it up.
They are.
My God.
Horribly long.
Even the students were boring.
Listen, no one wants to be. I mean, that's the thing. The fact of the matter is, no one wants to be there. Everyone goes for that one moment where they call the name, but you're standing around alphabetic, and there's just too many people these days in general. I mean, you talk about overpopulation problem. That could never be more abundant than when you're waiting for the last name to be called.
Why do these people have so many family members?
And
God.
there's just so many A's and so many B's, and God forbid you're at the end of the alphabet, and is it enough anymore to just go take a picture when they get their diploma and get the hell out of there? But they say, no, save your... They do a couple things to keep you in your seat. Save your applause till the end. That's a big one.
But nobody does that.
No, of course not. They got the air horns. They got the streamers.
And every single time I was jumping with the streamers. But another part that was
you were doing what?
I was jumping every time the everybody behind me had foghorns and stuff. So every single time that they...
I thought you were celebrating for every person.
No.
You're like, every time I jumped with streamers.
No, every single time I was jumping because somebody had a foghorn.
Do you think anyone goes to graduations that doesn't actually know anyone graduating just because they like that environment? Like they like just being surrounded by so many people celebrating?
Well, you know who I feel bad for are the teachers because they have to go to this stupid thing every single year and they don't give a crap about these students.
I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's 100% accurate.
I'm just saying they don't really know. They're kind of in that situation where they don't really know. I mean, they know the students, but they don't really know any of the students. And then they have to sit there and they're the one, like in my case, the one I went to, they were all on stage. So they're the ones that you're staring at.
They can't even be on their phone playing fun games and sexting each other their dongs because they have to. I mean, they could probably still sex with the students. I think that's okay these days, right? But they can't sex each other.
As long as they use the code emojis.
Right. We'll learn all about that, don't you? I almost want to. I know you don't have that scheduled for the next half hour, but boy, do I want to start the show with that.
The other thing that was frustrating about graduation is that because it's graduation, everybody uses like their family name, 2 middle names, hyphenated. They have to have all 5, 6 names on their diploma so that it takes 3, 4 times as long to get through all of them because it's like Jessica Marie Annabelle Johnson Farron.
Right. They want to maximize their 4 seconds of glory.
Yeah. And I'm like, you need to be able to, you have to max 2.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that because at my graduation from college, I think this is from college, I went to Syracuse, not a huge school, but big enough that this graduation happened in the Carrier Dome, which is a massive sporting arena that holds 50,000 people, and there was a lot of people there, obviously, and they told you had to write your name down on a piece of paper and then hand it to someone who then hands it to someone else who then reads your name. So you're basically writing your name moments before your name gets read. Yeah.
What if you have horrible penmanship?
Well, hi. So, but I wrote my name.
Kevin?
I wrote my name because I thought it'd be funny if I wrote my name Val. I wrote my name was Val, Dictor, Eon. Kevin, and my goal was that they would announce valedictorian Kevin, and everyone would stand and clap for me because that's the one time where everyone feels like they need to stand and clap for the smartest person in the room. So I tried. So I wrote this thing, and I was like, "How are they going to say this? So how can I get this so they can actually announce it?"
Yeah, I can't believe they gave you guys that much control.
I was shocked, and I was shocked. I mean, there was some decent, a lot of Mike Hunts. Being thrown out there, like more than its fair amount of, I'd say 80% of the graduates were Michael Hunt or some variation
Why are there
of that.
so many Michael Hunts?
But when I finally came to me and I write this, I'm like, all right, Val, Dick, Torian, and I think their real issue is the Dick part of it because they announced to me, I believe, was Val Kevin Klein or something like that, and my parents missed it and no one knew, and it was like this whole, and it's really, if you think about it, it's such a. I understand why it's an important moment. Sure, I get it. It's a lot of time spent, a lot of money spent. You're paying off those debts forever and everything else. But you're absolutely right when you say most people, unless you get one of those glorious speakers that you see videos online about, where you're like, how did they get? They got Jimmy Kimmel speak at their graduation. Oh, they got Obama. For the most part, you don't get that, right? It's one of the other teachers. It's some parent of a student.
They talk about just generic inspiration stuff.
Well, that will all change later this morning when we force ourselves. We had success with the forced Christmas tree lightings. I can only imagine we will have similar success later this morning when we call a Bay Area institution of higher learning and tell them that we accept the invitation to speak at their graduation, even though it's an invitation that we've never received, which is unfortunate because I thought last year I knew we were a brand new show. We weren't going to be invited. This year I had held out hopes that maybe some school, even if it was some slow elementary school or something, would invite us to speak at their graduation. But it turns out no one graduates from slow elementary schools. They just keep going.
All the kids going to school now, even in elementary school, are inventing apps. So
vicious cycle. So
they can find an 8th grader that's more interesting than we are.
It's too bad. It really, I know. Like, you want to hear from this radio show or the 8th grader that just invented the next app with $5 billion? We'll hear from that guy. Well, we'll get to that later today as well and give you things like tickets to the show happening tomorrow night at Bill Graham Civic if you'd like to see Sandler and Spade and Swartzen and Schneider all together. Oh, it's going to be a good time. And what time is that? I actually wouldn't mind going to that. What time is it? Is that late or is that early? Can they start that at 4? Is that too early?
Pretty sure it starts after 4.
Damn it. Once again.
But I think it is kind of early. I think it's like 6 or something.
Yeah, but then... Well, I wonder.
Yeah, but then that's rush hour.
It's not a really good time either, to be honest. Well, I don't know. They haven't actually invited us to go to that either yet. You'd think we have access to all these events if we want to go, but not the case because every time we get a ticket, we like to give them to you guys for listening to the show. First call of the day is a very important moment because it will set the tone for the next 4 hours we get to spend together here on Live 105. So don't be a stranger, but if you are going to be first caller of the day, please make it valuable, make it worth our time, even though it can be of a topic of your choosing at 800-696-1053. Tons of ways to interact with the show, 36105 and 415-851-JERK to leave messages. Yesterday, I make a point. We never mention to listen to the podcast because I always find it a bit incestuous, almost like that new Reese's peanut butter cup that has the Reese's pieces inside of it, where it seems like a great idea. But
the Reese's that has Reese's babies inside of it?
Right. It's
and then
weird.
You eat them?
There's something very strange about that. It's like eating a chicken omelet. There's just something about eating generations of Reese's that makes me feel uncomfortable a little bit. I like the idea, and I like the idea that all of these different companies now, and not only the pizza companies, candy companies, they clearly are employing a bunch of high-function potheads to come up with these ideas because they're the only people that could think put Reese's Pieces inside of a Reese's cup and sell it that way.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Reese's is so delicious on its own that
Sure.
I think a lot of these candy companies are like, well, let's just mix a bunch of candies together. But Reese's is like, there's nothing better than us.
Right.
So we're just going to put it in a different form and put it inside of itself.
I have moral objections to this. I mean, in theory, I'm fine with it. I think it would be delicious.
I think it's sick.
I look forward to getting my hands on it, but I also find it, and I know you probably are okay with it because it's very incestuous, and that's your
Yeah,
thing.
I like it.
But yesterday, and that's why I hate spending time on this show promoting the podcast. I hate saying like, hey, by the way, now you're listening to us on the radio. Now come download the pod. And yesterday was one of those days because they've asked me to do it more and more and more that I mentioned it 3 or 4 different times during the show. By the way, there's a podcast. By the way, check out the Half Off Pod. And then, of course, all day I'm seeing messages come through. Where's the podcast? There's no podcast. You said get the podcast. I was going to download it today for the first time. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Oh, we were hearing that all last week while you were gone.
Well, but yesterday we did a show. Yes, last week I understand we were kind of in,
But now you're back and the podcast is still not up?
What's the problem here? Who messed up? Who can I get upset with?
Digital, apparently, because...
Digital? Who is digital?
I don't know. They're the CBS people that I
They're
usually...
part of the system, Kevin.
Yeah.
These aren't even names anymore. You can't even file a complaint with anyone. Digital. Yes, digital, I've got a problem.
That's all I know who to blame because they sent out an email saying, hey, if you'd like to upload a podcast, just know there's a CBS-wide problem going on, so if you have something you want to upload, you're going to have to wait a little bit. We don't know how long, but just sit tight and we'll take care of this ASAP. And that's the kind of BS that we got sent, so I was unable to upload the podcast yesterday for that.
So you were unable to upload it.
Yeah.
So what all of us means is that it's your fault.
So this whole digital scapegoat you created and everything like that, it came down to my only question was why was the podcast not available for people to listen to yesterday?
Because the CBS program wouldn't allow me to upload it because there's some company-wide problem, apparently.
Who didn't upload it?
I attempted to upload it.
Who didn't upload it?
CBS, the program.
Which individual person did not upload our show's podcast yesterday?
I made every attempt possible, getting in contact with Digital, trying to make it happen.
Isn't that how he doesn't answer
I know
the
what he's getting at. He's getting at that he didn't upload it.
He didn't upload it. He said it. He said it accidentally in the middle of his stupid explanation.
He just went to one of his 3-hour gym sessions.
So
and he didn't.
How much time did you spend at the gym yesterday?
Hour and a half.
Okay. And how much time did you spend uploading our podcast?
I was in contact with emails while I was at the gym, actually trying to figure this out. So probably about 2 hours.
How much time did you spend uploading the show's podcast?
I guess technically 0.
0. You spent 0 time uploading our show's podcast, and how much time at the gym?
Hour and a half.
Okay.
And how much time looking at other guys' butts at the gym?
0.
Yeah,
All
right.
right, fair enough. Digital. Talk to Digital about that. All right. So
I'll help you through it.
I just got to get to the bottom of these things because if I start going getting angry, and I get angry about stuff when things don't work properly, and I look like a total a-hole when it comes back on me, and they go, well, why don't you talk to your team? Maybe it was somebody on your team that did it. I just need to make sure that you're the one who spent 0 time uploading the podcast.
You know what? If it makes you feel better, Kevin, feel free to blame me for all of it.
But who are you blaming?
I'm saying I got an email from Digital saying you were unable to upload any audio. And I was trying to figure out a way around that, and nothing.
Deadeyes, do you know anything about this? Or was it Useless Weirdo's fault?
I know a little bit about it, but can it be both?
Okay, fair enough. All right, so it's half your fault. That's fine.
All right.
It's half off podcast and it's half your fault.
I mean, that's the whole stupid tagline for this podcast. Half the show, what is it? 50% of the show, 100% of the time. But in actuality, it's not. It's 50% of the show, 50% of the time. So what's the point? And I feel bad because when you get into a routine, right? Be it listening to this show this morning, brushing your teeth, whatever, making yourself a frittata on a Sunday, whatever it is, whatever your routine is. And then something screws that up, right? I don't know.
No, people get angry because they'll listen to our show on the way to work, and then on the way home, they'll listen to the podcast and listen to things that they missed.
And I appreciate that. And that is what we could hope for. It's the only thing we can actually hope for when we do this thing is that people actually not only just put up with us. That was the most basic thing that they were hoping for around here. Look, the last few morning shows that we've tried on Live on 5, people won't even put up with them. They turn the channel, rip the car radios out of their car, throw them right in the bay. Putting up with us is one thing. Actually enjoying the show, that's a different level. And then actually listening to the live show and also downloading the podcast, listening to that as well, that is about the best thing you can hope for. And so when we can't deliver on that, and I can't quite figure it out because yesterday there were some really enjoyable moments of the show. If it was one of those crap shows we've had, and don't get me wrong, we'll have those shows. Today could be one of them. I wouldn't mind. But yesterday was a decent show. There were some good moments that I really would have liked to have shared with people. People, they read the tweets and stuff, and then they go, I can't wait to listen to that later. And then we couldn't deliver that.
No, people are biting into the Reese's only to find no Reese's Pieces inside.
It's just a regular, boring old peanut butter filled cup. I mean, Patrick.
A melted one, even.
God damn it. So it's not your fault.
I cannot be blamed for the computer refusing to work.
Oh, yes, you can. We'll make sure you are blamed. Don't worry.
All right, so it's the computer's fault. Hey, someone sent in a song about your mullet, Allie. Would you like to hear this?
Oh, God. I don't have a damn mullet.
Let me read this.
I have a certain haircut. It's growing out a little bit. I'm in transition mode. It's not a mullet. It's layered.
From Brendan. I'm a big fan of your show. Listen every day. Can't wait to meet you guys at BFD. Bought my tickets the second they went on sale because I'm a huge fan, huge Offspring fan. I recorded this track last night for you guys. Hope you enjoy it for Gur. Well, I hope we enjoy it for Gur as well. And it is about Allie's mullet.
Oh, for Gur.
Oh, for Gur. And he also, I think he did it to the Offspring because that's the band that he's excited to see. So I have not actually heard this in its entirety. Deadeye's called it mediocre at best, so...
Business in the front, party in the back.
Okay, it's pretty bad. I think mediocre was...
No, Deadeye's, they were overselling it.
40s by the train track.
Oh, my God.
Size of her redneck, thick and wide. Allie could be Joe Dirt's bride, cause she's got a bad mullet. And it really looks strange. Got a bad mullet.
That's all I can handle right now. Thank you. I think mediocre, I think you oversold that.
Yeah, you did.
They call that mediocre? That's not mediocre.
It makes me laugh.
That was horrible.
It definitely does.
Allie's got a bad mullet, yeah. It is catchy. I'll give him that. Thank you, Brendan, for saying that.
His sound quality is really tops.
Yeah, where did you record that? CBS Radio? Roger Sunnyvale, what's up?
Hey, my question is Patrick a millennial?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so. I mean,
yeah, he's considered a millennial.
Because he fits...
I believe the actual official term for him is special needs.
Yeah. Well, his lack of accountability for being able to upload something just is very typical of millennials. I mean, instead of being a man and just saying, yeah, it's on me, I didn't get it done, which is how everybody else in the world acts, he instead just sits there and goes, oh, no, it's the website. It's somebody else.
Yeah, he's entitled and blaming.
Well, you're absolutely right when you say that. And as much as I hate people that throw on that word and go, it's a millennial thing, there is, I mean, I think it's a society-wide thing these days, but no one is accountable for anything anymore. Mm-hmm. No one.
And everyone can blame technology.
I mean, I really want to talk about this bottle rock issue we're dealing with right now.
We should not. Because no. We're going to make it so much worse.
Because it's one of these things where we were just trying to figure out a simple answer. Oh. And we went around from person to person here, and every single person passed the buck to someone else. Oh, that wasn't, hey, I wish I had known. I would have done something. Hey, I wish I had known.
They passed the buck, and then they lost it.
They passed the buck, then they told us we never had a buck to begin with.
They set it on fire.
There was no buck. That was the issue. There was no buck ever to begin with.
It's a magic trick.
All right. Well, I'll talk. I don't want to. I'm trying to make it better. I don't want to make it worse before I make it better. But it is absolutely what Roger is saying, 100%. And we're dealing with people that I guess you could argue are millennials, but also people that are not millennial, Gen Xers or whatever was before that even. And every single person, no one's responsible for anything anymore. No one is. And I don't. Maybe it used to be. You touch like some old grizzled like war vet guy. And he'll be like, yeah, I did it. That's right. I'm not proud of it, and I did it.
I murdered all of them.
Yeah. I killed them all. Look at this necklace. And he's proud of it. But, yeah, exactly. There's pride or shame, regardless of what they feel. You're absolutely right. There is at least an ownership of it and owning up to it. And it was interesting to try to even get Patrick to say he didn't upload it because he was at the gym, which was more important.
I did not say that I didn't upload it because I was at the gym.
You know what you should do? You should post a picture of yourself working out so that people, when they can't listen to our show for 2 hours, can at least look at a picture of you working out.
Can I read the email that I was sent yesterday?
Go ahead.
Please share this info with your radio staff as needed.
Okay, sorry, we're out of time. It's time for music now. Thanks. Mac in Santa Cruz, welcome to the airwaves of Live 105. What's up?
Wow, hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Fine. For Gur?
For Gur.
For Gur.
Yeah, I was calling to see if Sandler tickets were available.
Yes, Sandler tickets are available. I'm trying to think how we're giving those out today. In fact, Deadeye's told us that show begins at what time? Please say 4.
8 p.m.
Oh,
Please say 4.
It's 8 p.m. Damn it.
Yeah, we're not going to that.
Well, then we can't go. So, Mac, you could probably have our tickets. Hang the phone. We will.
We never had tickets.
No, we never had them, but we'll go ahead and make sure you get yourself some tickets to see Sandler and Schwartzen and Schneider, etc. We've got tickets for lots of things today on the show, including Blink 182 and Live 105's BFD, with a band that I think people will be pretty excited to hang with. We will be announcing that later this morning as well. So lots of reasons to bribe you to continue to listen.
People on the text line are interested in the fact that I said I'm transitioning. I'm not. I'm transitioning. My hair is in a transitional period. It's not transitioning into Joe Dirt, and I'm not transitioning into being a man.
Well,
okay?
You did say you're transitioning. We all know what that means now.
No.
What is the proper emoji for transitioning? That's the real question, and we'll find out.
Gotta figure it out.
When we get back in moments, I just want you to know that we will have a news anchor tell us what it is that we need to be aware of, because that's always important when they break it down. And here's just a taste of what we can look forward to.
And strung together, a running man and a bowling ball means I'm going to hit you.
So be aware if someone sends you a running man and a bowling ball, they're about to punch you in the face.
All right.
I don't know why they would alert you first
Get
via
this useless
emoji.
weirdo text going.
We will explain all of that coming up on the show. 36105 to interact.
People say 510, my routine includes your whole show every morning. 707 said, finally someone is getting something done about this issue. It is causing death, guys.
I don't know about
And
that.
707 said, hey, that's a great idea. I hate that I missed the last 2 hours of your show because of work. Now I can listen to you on the way home instead of stupid commercials.
I was just informed that we will be giving away these more Sandler and tickets later today for the show that's happening tomorrow with Punchlines with Patrick. The return of everyone's least funny, least favorite game, where you set him up with the setup. He delivers the punchline. A zinger is what it's known as.
And he's had plenty of time to warm up now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have not done a Punchlines with Patrick in a long, long time, so that will be returning today. And you make him funny, and you get to go see actual funny people tell jokes. We will return in a moment, find out what's trending, and start giving you things. Plus, I believe Adam Sandler is on the earlier side today, so we'll do all of that after this. Trendosaurus, what's going on, buddy? I know there's stuff we need to learn about today on the show. Before we get to emojis and say hi to Adam Carolla, who returns. Lots to talk to Adam about, new beers and the end of Loveline, etc., etc. Plus, Brownie Blends will be joining us today. Is he cutting? Deadeyes, is he bringing his equipment to cut our hair, or does he only cut the hair of big-time Bay Area athletes?
I don't think we're athletic enough for him.
So he's not even bringing his clippers or anything?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, Kevin, why don't you pick one of the Warriors, and just figure out which hair you like best, and then he'll just do that. Like, you'll have Draymond Green's haircut. He'll just repeat it on you.
A lot of them kind of have very similar haircuts.
No, they don't.
A lot of them do. It's pretty standard. I mean, he's probably going with like a 3, maybe a 3 across the board, it seems like it is.
Oh, we'll break this all down with him. I'm sure he'll use a 3 on everybody.
I'm fascinated to talk to this guy. How did he become the go-to dude to cut everyone's hair? And he's very important. I mean, these guys, I wonder if he gets sweet tips. Like, I always feel like that weird moment. What do you give the guy? Cut your hair, $5, $10, $5? You give him a tip?
What?
In general?
$5, $10?
Yeah, like if I
It's
get
way different for me.
Oh,
You realize I do 20% of the hundreds of dollars that I spend on my hair. Only to have it be insulted on the air. So it's nice.
When you're getting a mullet cut, I understand you have to give a little bit more money.
I have to go to a mullet specialist.
Because they had to do 2 different styles for you. They had to do one up front, one in the rear.
Yeah, they charge for 2 haircuts.
Well, if only it gives us an excuse to play that song again. It's worth it. We announced earlier this week we were searching for the best busker in the Bay, from BART to BFD. Someone is going to be opening up our entire BFD festival, and it's someone that right now is probably playing music at a BART station or somewhere around the Bay Area. And already people have been sending us tons of different buskers they've come across as ones that I don't know if these guys submitted themselves or if this was someone else who sent this to us. These were some guys playing at Union Square. I don't know how that would translate to the festival setting, but I like this part.
Is this when the main guy goes, gather around everybody, we're going to dance for you guys. We are the blah, blah, blah dance team.
I mean, I could see that being a lot of fun if you were on 6 or 7 hits of Molly, right?
Yeah.
It's all fun and games with
I need good techno when I'm walking through Union Square.
It's all, yeah. That's definitely the neighborhood for the techno.
This makes walking a lot more fun, though. Feel like you're in a video game.
This is the one-man band from Fisherman's Wharf that's been nominated by a few of our listeners.
No, that's one person?
One guy doing all that. He was just playing a
that's
CD.
just his iPhone.
He was just playing. He just hit one with his finger. It's amazing. And
the harmonica on his mouth was just for show.
This was from the Montgomery BART station. This was sent to us. A guy named Toku, I believe.
Oh, this is hands down my favorite. Can you imagine opening BFD with this?
Yeah, that'll get people in the mood. So, just a sampling of some of the stuff.
You know what I should do? Molly.
That's some of the stuff that we are getting sent to us. If you would like to be a part of this, or you know a busker, or you see someone that's got some serious talent, Bart, make sure to get in touch. Let them get in touch with us. We need to figure this out sometime in the very near future, because BFD is not too many weeks away. All right, let's find out what's trending right now at Trendosaurus, and then, as we mentioned, Adam Carolla joining us, and we will get to the bottom of emojis and their secret meanings. Everyone apparently is trying to do drugs, have sex, and kill each other, and they're notifying everyone through emoji. It's the hidden language that's under all of our noses. But first, what is trending?
And you better believe the old white guys know about it.
Oh,
all right.
That's where I go for information about emoji communication. Old white guys.
All right. I know when I drafted the Winchester Mystery House in our Bay Area fantasy draft, nobody believed in me. Many thought it was a horrible pick, but I knew that those staircases would not lead to nowhere. And finally, I have my moment of glory with breaking Winchester Mystery House news. The story is being made into a hit movie. They are calling it a supernatural thriller.
How do you know if it's a hit movie until it's been released?
I know it's going to be a hit. I just know it.
It's being made into a movie. Only time will tell if it'll be a hit movie
Well,
or
let
not.
me give you the details. It's only set up for success. Who better to play Sarah Winchester than my hero, Helen Mirren? She will be in it. She'll star, and they will start filming next year. It's being directed by the Spearig brothers.
Oh, how'd they get them?
They don't have a ton of IMDb credits, and they're from Australia, but they're brothers.
What else did they direct? You said the Coen brothers are directing?
No. The Spearig brothers, and not Steven Spielberg. The Spearig brothers.
So the Wayans brothers are doing this movie?
No.
Oh.
Spearig. They made some movie called Undead and a couple of other random horror movies. So I can only imagine good things. I think perhaps an Oscar nom. I mean,
will they film this in San Jose? Or?
I can only hope. I mean, it's just nice to see some good news about Bay Area house.
They're going to film it in Toronto. I have a feeling it's too expensive to film here. I'm sure.
You think so?
Yeah, they're going to move. They're going to move out to Canada.
Well, I don't think they'll be able to film it in the actual Winchester Mystery House.
I can't believe they're turning that tourist trap into a movie, a major motion picture.
I know.
That's amazing.
But I wonder if it's because now the Bay Area is getting so much more attention. Like, no one cared about San Jose like 10 years ago. No one was trying to make a movie out of this house. Now everybody that's important is living here. And they're like, you know what? That house is really cool. Let's make a movie about it.
Allie was born and raised in San Jose and didn't care about it 10 years ago, which is unbelievable. No pride. No pride.
No, I went there when I was 7.
Is that the last time you were in the Winchester Mystery House?
Yeah, and I want to go again because now they're doing those sleepovers. There's all kinds of Winchester Mystery news.
I thought someone invited us to do our show sleep there, and then do our show from there in the morning. I thought that was the big plan. But
I would love to do that.
Whatever happened, I don't know.
I'm happy to endorse the Winchester Mystery House in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, well,
or to promote this movie.
A very excited movie, and I think this will be a huge jewel in the crown of the Spiral brothers or whoever.
Okay, sometimes technology is a little tough for the elderly to comprehend. You may have spent hours teaching your grandmother to open up her Yahoo email account, so why not make things even simpler by giving her the world's first smartwatch for old people? It isn't water aerobics proof, but it does have a large number. It does have large numbers that tell you the time, and a nice classic style that looks like something out of the movie Dick Tracy. And it does so much more than tell time. It can track your steps, slow as they may be. It can remind them to take their medication. And if your grandma's saying, "What about my Life Alert bracelet?" tell her to calm down because it does have a giant red button on the side that she can press if she falls down. So if you're willing to spend a solid month and a half showing her how this thing works, pick up the Wearcom S3 or as I like to call it, the applesauce watch.
Oh, it's such a better name.
The applesauce watch.
Such a
Come
stronger
on.
name for old people than the, what is it, the Wearcom?
They're Wearcom 3.
Oh.
I mean, and I'm wondering if it's the Wearcom S3 and S is for senior, but I don't think so. I think that we could find a much better name for this.
Yeah, our audience always comes in with stronger names. Applesauce watch is going to be tough to beat, but it's the smartwatch for the elderly, so have at it.
Yeah.
Have at it.
All right, and your grandparents aren't the only ones with the diabetes. Apparently, your pets have it too because you can't stop feeding them human food. I know that you think you're being a good owner by giving your pet artisan treats and leftover Chinese food, but new research indicates that animal diabetes is up over 900%, which is a lot. And it's mostly due to animal obesity because of how we treat our animals these days. And you'd think it's mostly dog-related, but actually cat diabetes is specifically up over 1,000%.
Write that down as a possible name for my daughter, cat diabetes.
Cat diabetes.
I like that name.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe cats are just getting into the habits of their owners, which means just sitting at home alone eating chow mein while watching Gilmore Girls, and that's why they're getting fat. But perhaps this is why animals are attacking us. They're just hungry.
Yeah, they can eat so little and survive on so little and the same thing. That's what they always say about animals. I don't know if it's true about cats, but I think it is that they don't need to constantly be changing up their food like humans do. They
don't care because they don't even have as many taste buds as dogs do. I don't think.
But as soon as they start getting a taste of, you see someone that's that's hooked on drugs, you can see that
Whiskas.
You can see that exact reaction if you give a dog something that they don't normally have. And I do believe, and some people
their
say
eyes dilate.
Absolutely, their eyes. And then it comes. I gave my dog bacon one time. Accidentally, I would never give up my bacon, but I dropped a piece and the dog ate the bacon. And then the next time I made bacon, she was hovering. I mean, she knew.
And they'll never forget that.
She'll never forget it. Understandably so, which is crazy because if I leave the room for 3 minutes, she's already forgotten that I was ever there. But that bacon, that's a taste that stays with them. And as a result, everyone's got these giant fat animals now that are walking around, and animal diabetes is up almost 1,000%.
Yeah, and then they're going to need little cat Fitbits to get back in shape.
Well, we can't come up with a name for that as well right now. We're already working on the old person watch. We will return in a moment and hopefully save your life to the tune of emojis and what they actually mean with the news after this. Well, once again, the audience never disappoints. We asked for a name for the old person smartwatch, and immediately submissions came spilling through 36105 on the text line.
I think my favorite so far is Death Clock.
Strong. I think that's going to sell a lot. Here, Nana, I got you
I got you a Death Clock.
A death clock for your 85th birthday.
Just put it on, all right? And when you fall down, press this button.
It's great. As soon as you stop breathing, it'll go ahead and text me your will. It's a horrible idea for the old person. And I have
It'll airdrop it. It'll airdrop the will right onto your computer.
That's going to create a lot more problems than I think it's going to solve. But yes, I do understand why old people like wearing tech as well. Absolutely. It's a strong idea. Cover old people with as much wearable tech as possible.
Yeah.
No problems will come of that. There will not be the accidental red button being pushed 47 times a day. Jesus.
People are nominating who they like best so far as buskers go. 510, and the overwhelming favorite so far is random Asian guy with stringed instrument.
Okay, well, if that's the case, we will go ahead and invite him into the studio. We're going to, I think that was a him. Yeah, it was a him. Okay. I want to see the video. I'm only listening to the audio now, but this guy, you can check out this guy performing at the Montgomery BART station. Strong.
Very, very strong.
I'm going to go ahead and reserve that guy for the next funeral that I have to plan.
Should play at a college graduation.
Oh, when do we get to do that? I'm really excited to force commencement. And also, cut me off, Dead Eyes, if Adam Carolla calls. I know he's going to be on with us at some point this hour. Here's what's happening in the world of emojis, though. The exciting and ever-changing world of emojis. You send them to mean things, guys. I mean, come on. We all know. You send an eggplant, it means you're DTF, right? Mm-hmm. But apparently, parents have no idea what they mean. And as a result, the news, when they have a slow news day, they like to go ahead and give these long-winded explanations about what every combination of emoji means so that parents are in the know and they can go ahead and figure out if their kids are about to deal drugs or have an orgy. Well,
or both.
Or both. And let me say, there's nothing that makes someone sound older and less hip than breaking down emoji code.
Word of the year, emojis. Have them all all kinds of emotions, quickly becoming the universal language of the internet.
It's estimated 6
Did she
billion.
say internets?
Yes, the internets as well. It's quickly becoming the language of the internet, if that thing catches on, that fad.
Emojis are sent every day, but parents, listen up.
And the news industry wonders why they're in such shambles right now. Like local news wonders, why do we have no viewers anymore? Because you're doing a story right now for the type of people that would need to wear the applesauce watch.
Yeah.
And not actual people that live, breathe, and have a pulse. Meanwhile, the upstairs news, CBS here, great people. They're very nice.
And they're doing really well.
Big fan of Mike Sugarman.
Innocent use of emojis can actually have a dark side.
The problem with these icons is they don't always mean what you think.
It doesn't mean anything to them, but it does to those that are fluent in emoji, in the secret language of emojis.
So meanwhile, the expert they found is also like 80 years old. He's got this big white mustache.
God.
And he's the go-to guy to go ahead and break down, because if you need the expert opinion, you got to go to the guy who is so old. Like it's almost like
I can hear his hip breaking.
Well, they're like this guy trained on hieroglyphics, so now he's going to break down emojis for everyone else.
Mike Harris, who tracks down child predators for the Jefferson County DA's office, says he has to learn this whole new language of over 1,200 emojis.
It is interesting, by the way, that the people that track down child predators oftentimes resemble the child predator. I mean, this guy, someone said to me, put this guy in one column.
I gotta get these bastards in jail.
Child predator or a guy who catches child predator. It would be very difficult to figure out what column to put him in.
One symbol could mean 3 or 4 different things.
Oh, did you know that? Did you guys know that? We're getting emoji schooled right now.
And that's what makes it complicated.
So he uses the Speak emoji app to translate what people are saying.
Oh, God. So all he did was download an app?
So this is our expert right here.
Learn this language. All right.
Download the app.
Because emoji can be used to harass, threaten, and commit other crimes. But some emoji aren't so obvious.
Is that his life alert going on?
That's his. He's hooked up to a heart monitor machine. He's not doing well.
My
finger down and frog.
A frog can mean someone is ugly.
All right, now this is when she's going to break down. This is when she's going to break down what everything can mean these days. All right, so we learned last time around when the news covered this, we learned a lot of things about salads. All right, salads mean all sorts of sexual things. But now, if someone sends a frog, and I don't know why so let's just say, hypothetical, parent goes through the kid's phone. There's a couple of frogs being texted around. Now they have this information. Okay, well, that's good. I finally learned you're ugly, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is this? The benefit of this?
Right.
This cute image of a dog can actually be an insult of the B word.
Oh, that adorable fat diabetic dog actually means you're the B word.
Smiling at me.
Okay, so the dog means you're a bitch. Understood.
This smiling pile of poop, another profanity.
Now, what could that mean? What possibly could the smiling pile of poop mean?
Could it mean a piece of something?
And strung together, a running man and a bowling ball means I'm going to hit you.
So now, which is very nice to give someone the courtesy if you're going to be punched. And I've been punched before in a fight. I've also been sucker punched before. I've never received
Oh my God, Kevin, really?
Oh yeah, from time to time. But like you'd never receive the warning ahead of time. That's very courteous for someone to send you an emoji.
Yeah,
that's like,
I'm about to go over there and punch you in the face. Get ready. Brace yourself.
That's actually the nicest thing you can do before you punch someone is let them know it's coming.
I also think that they should pair the poop emoji with the running man to let someone know you have the runs.
Oh, strong. Didn't get covered in this one, though.
Add scissors. It's now I'm going to cut you.
Oh, I thought I was going to scissor you. That's what I've been using it for.
Allie, you've been saying it all wrong.
Oh, man.
Allie thinks the whole lesbian community thinks
My girlfriend feels so threatened.
Hi, Allie.
And look how a knife, this face, and a shower equals psycho.
I feel like this reporter's just going through her own phone. These are all things people have sent to her. My ex-boyfriend sent me shower, knife, shower, knife. What does that mean?
Or a skull with a right arrow and a fire means die in a fire.
Oh my God. These are just so many creative ways to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's really just different ways
It's just serial killer shorthand.
It's murder through emoji, which, by the way, if you're going to commit any of these crimes, you don't want any sort of evidence at all, emoji or otherwise. You just don't want. So I don't understand. And also, I think that this woman is wrong on a lot of these.
Oh,
as well.
yeah. I think this woman is just like, you're right. I think she's just looking at her phone and just putting things together and just figuring out what it means.
Something as simple as a flower.
Black thumbs up and tongue means you would like to lick a black man's hand. It's like, no, it doesn't mean that. You're just making things up at this point.
can mean drugs.
Parents also should know some emoji are sexual.
Oh, did you know that, parents?
Oh.
Some emoji can be. Let me say
But you
something.
know what? Like,
all emoji can be sexual.
Yes,
every
that's
single
true.
one of them. We've already figured that out. It's impossible to not make them sexual.
Yeah, as soon as
Even
something gets invented, we figure out how to sexualize
even some
it.
random flag from a third world country can be very sexual. Okay.
Who'd have guessed a peach, an eggplant, and raindrops reference carnal desire?
Who would have guessed? I don't know. I could have. And you know what's great is that parents are going to listen and watch this news report and then go on their kids' phones and be like, I know what this means. You're going to do Molly and then light someone on fire. And they're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I just like frogs.
Yeah. What does it mean? You're going to take drugs and burn yourself? No, that's not what it means at all. I like it that she didn't want to say the word sex on the news, so she said carnal desire.
Carnal desire.
Would anything make you dry up more than that phrase? We're going to meet up later for some carnal desire.
You're like, does that mean that we're getting carne asada?
Oh, it sounds good. I wish there was an emoji for that.
Yummy.
Who'd have guessed a peach, an eggplant, and raindrops reference carnal desire?
Ugh.
I love the emoji sound effects in the background. It's like, boo, boo, boo.
About the weather, then that could possibly mean that it's raining or it's going to rain.
But if it's with that fruit and everything else, it's a different content. It's a sexual content.
Yeah, can I go back to my room now?
Yeah, this conversation, Mom, is really uncomfortable. How come there's so much rain in your forecast,
I
honey?
need it for my news report, honey.
Great. They're taking fruit to a whole new level over here, right?
What makes emojis so complicated for parents is they have no set definition like words, and their meaning can vary.
Really?
She's like 3 minutes into this news story now, and that's she's dropping the same bit of information she's given us 6 other times.
Here are a few more examples.
Oh, more examples.
God.
Here we go. All right, let's take a stab at these. Here we go.
A pig.
A pig.
All right, we don't have to make this about me.
Listening to Live 105.
Can mean the farm animal we all know or a police officer.
Okay, now they're just going with like old school traditional stuff. Everyone knew that. Come on.
Okay.
This symbol of a water closet or restroom can also mean woman crush.
Mm-hmm.
What? A woman crush?
Yeah, a toilet. That's right. A toilet can also mean woman crush. That's how you know.
Did you know that?
No, because I think these are all so dumb anyway.
And these footprints.
All right, what do you think the footprints mean?
I murdered someone, and here's where I dragged their body.
Yeah, exactly. The dead body alert.
Can also mean beer.
Beer?
Oh, well, now we've learned. See, that's
because they can't possibly just say, I'm going to go get some beer.
No, you don't say that. Parents will catch on to that, so you do footprints.
So I could see where a lot of parents are going, oh, gosh, something else now. And
all right. Anyway, that goes on and on. So now we've learned very important, valuable information today.
These poor children.
Everyone is just trying to murder each other or have sex with them, right? We don't know what they mean, but any combination of any sort of emoji means.
Or insult other people by calling them ugly.
Murder, sex, or ugly. Yeah. So we will return in a moment with more radio on Live 105. And I want to see, because people are already very excited for punchlines with Patrick. Alex, you've been hanging on the phone a while already. You have the setup for Patrick?
I do. I do indeed.
There's a practice one, but go ahead. This doesn't count officially.
It's a practice one?
Yeah, let me hear what you have.
Who am I sending? All right. Knock, knock.
Patrick?
Who's there?
Boo.
Okay, now Patrick, that would be your setup. So you get to then you would finish this. That way we'd find out how hilarious you are.
Okay, so it'd be boo-hoo, and then you say, in response to that, why are you crying? It's just a joke.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna
that's already been written.
That's
traditional. You need to write a new one.
That's typical what you would do, which is steal someone else's joke. You would have to change it and make it better.
Boo-hoo. I can't. It's pretty narrow what you can do with that
zinger. Pretty narrow zing.
Patrick.
Well, that's a sampling of what you can look forward to later on the show today.
Patrick, running man bowling ball.
Scissors fire. Anthony Kiedis, hello. Oh, God. Oh, he doesn't sound like he's getting healthier. God, that's not good.
That stomach bug seems like it's traveling up.
Oh, boy. Are you going to be ready to play Bottle Rock? We're very excited to see you Sunday night. The headliners of Bottle Rock this year. God. You put some flea bass behind that, it doesn't sound that bad, to be honest.
I know. No one will know the difference.
Hoping all goes well and the Chili Peppers are going to be there performing. And, anyway, we'll give you more information upcoming. If you want BFD tickets, you come to the right station because I believe we're the only station that is giving those away. And we've got an opportunity for you to hang with a band as well. Today, the band is good.
Somebody said that they were late to all the emoji talk, but all I've learned is Allie equals frog pig. Or frog dog. Sorry, they did frog dog.
No, frog pig.
Frog pig, really, they're interchangeable.
You got it right both ways. Very offensive. Thank you.
And then 510 said, can you help Patrick get his S together? They're wanting to listen to the podcast.
Well, we've already gone over that today.
Yeah, we've actually gotten a lot more. Where's the podcast text messages on the text line?
Yes.
It's Patrick's fault, all right? We're all caught up now.
Patrick went to the gym. What did you work out at the gym yesterday?
Wait, what was that question?
At the gym, what did you work out yesterday?
What did I work out?
Mm-hmm.
Back and abs.
Okay. So yesterday, there's no podcast because Patrick was working out his back and his abs yesterday at the gym.
There you go.
Is that fair to say?
I don't think so.
All right, it's fair to say. Good, thank you. Let's give you some drugs, and then we'll say hi to the ace man, Mr. Adam Carolla, who will be on with us in sometime in the next 5 minutes. We will do that, and then an opportunity. Oh, yes, the opportunity that you've probably been waiting for more than anything else. We could speak at your graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Adult school, community college, middle school, minus dead eyes. There's no shortage of places we could go and bring this inspiration, this story of triumph, starting as this low-rated crap morning show to the mediocre-rated crap morning show that you hear in front of you today. That's right. We can bring that story of hope to your school. We have not been invited to speak at any schools, but that will not stop us from calling them and accepting the invitation and hopefully actually bringing... I think this weekend, actually, there's some graduations.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be,
All right.
This weekend, next weekend.
Let's give you drugs right now, though. That's what we do, the only show that does that as well.
Name that narcotic!
Say hi to... where do you want to go? Hayward, Sonoma, Roanoke Park, San Francisco.
We can go anywhere.
Chris, where are you calling from, buddy?
Hey, Kevin, San Jose. How you doing?
All right, doing well. Opportunity for you to win drugs from us right now on Live 105. Legal disclaimer, Allie?
Prices are subject to change.
Thank you. Covers our ass. I'm going to tell you a story right now about a man who did something. All you have to do is tell us what drug or drugs he was on while he did this. If you are correct, you will get the drugs in the quantity and quality that he was taking. It all started when police received 911 calls by a few people after they witnessed a man pretending to ride a motorcycle that was parked on the street. He got on top of the motorcycle and started making engine noises with his mouth. And was doing this for a long time, so much so that multiple people had called the cops to report this guy. Then, after that bike didn't go anywhere, he got into his Ford Mustang and ran over that motorcycle, rammed it several more times, and then also rammed other vehicles before driving off. The Mustang was later seen in the area without the headlights on, even though it was nighttime, driving on the wrong side of the road. The vehicle was pulled over in the driveway of a home. That is when the man ran into the garage and, he rammed his car into the garage door and pushed the vehicle up against the... Took him a while. Jeez.
Yeah, what the hell?
Not good
this guy goes on a whole rampage?
The man, 29, named Riley Perry, this is important information if you're trying to figure out what type of drug a guy named Riley would do, was still inside of the Mustang and laughing uncontrollably when the police arrived. He was no longer making engine noises because his actual car was making engine noises. His foot was on the gas the entire time he was in the garage.
Oh, my God.
He caused over $100,000 in property damage, not to mention $1,500 worth of damages, and he used a guitar to smash out 3 car windows as well. Name that narcotic and you get that narcotic. What narcotic would make you do such horrible things?
Oh, man, it could be so many things.
Could be.
Are we ruling out alcohol? Does it have to be a narcotic?
No, you could go straight on alcohol the entire way.
It could be a nice cocktail of different things.
Could be alcohol mixed with other things.
Yeah.
I know. I'm thinking, first thing I'm thinking is angel dust or PCP or something crazy like that. But then I'm thinking the dude could have just been drinking. I don't know.
This is the tough decision. This is why it's hard to get drugs from us for free. Getting free drugs is always difficult. That's why the game is hard.
I'm going to say, oh, man. I'm going to say he was smoking crack. No. I'm going to say, oh, man.
What are you going to say, man?
I'm going to go with PCP.
All right. The correct answer is...
No, wait.
He was smoking crack.
No.
I'm kidding. I like to joke about crack. Okay, that's what I do. That is, let me find out. What did he say? He say?
He said PCP.
All right. This guy who did all of these wonderful things.
Did they take him to the police station and go, me?
He made the siren noise the whole way there with his mouth. He was on a delicious drug cocktail of Xanax and mushrooms. I'm so sorry. We give you no drugs. You could have won yourself a great weekend of Xanax and mushrooms.
Man,
and unfortunately,
now that combination just makes perfect sense.
Well, he says afterwards, when the cops got a chance to chat with the guy, he said that the mushrooms had killed him. He was under the impression he was dead during all of this.
Cool.
So he thought the mushrooms had killed him, and this was...
he was just doing whatever he wanted. He was in heaven.
Yeah, he was dead, so he didn't think he was actually doing any of these things.
He was just in Grand Theft Auto heaven.
So, unfortunately, we go ahead and we keep these drugs, or shall I say, fortunately, you don't get them, and that is okay because someone else can win themselves these drugs and additional drugs next week on the show.
Yay!
So, I've got to have it? Great. If not, we'll help you start a new one. The Ace Man, Mr. Adam Carolla, on with us after this song. How to Catch a Contractor, Man Show, Loveline, Mangria. Oh, the list goes on and on. So many things to love about Adam Carolla. Yo, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Yo.
Ace Man, what's happening, buddy?
Nothing. How you doing?
Good. What started as an experiment in Jimmy Kimmel's kitchen has now turned into an alcoholic empire, and we're thrilled that Adam Carolla returns to chat with us about Endless Rant IPA. You had one of the most classic lines about beer bottles ever, where you talked about the St. Pauli's girl, that's the only beer you could drink and then masturbate to the bottle. You remember that? Do you remember saying that?
I have no recollection of that, but I'm amused by it.
Yeah, that's one of your lines. And
it's good to be amused by yourself.
And I was thinking when you came out, when I knew you were coming out with a beer, I said, I bet you he's going to try to outdo that St. Pauli's girl and put like a couple of chicks on there having a threesome or something. But you went really classic.
Oh, where were you when I was designing this bottle?
Right here.
But what's nice is that you still have time to make more and more beer.
Yeah, it's true. We make them in like pretty small batches. I think we make 3,000 bottles at a time or something like that, which may sound like a lot, but it's really not. It's really pretty small batch. They're like 22.5-ounce bottles, though. So there's this whole thing you have to get used to, which is in the new microbrew world, which ironically comes in a huge bottle. A case is 12, and a 6-pack is basically the equivalent to a 12-pack. So that's the new nomenclature we have to get used to in this new age of microbrewing.
From beers to tears in the world's best rhyming segue. Live 105 was one of the stations that aired the final Loveline. I was actually in LA hosting with Drew. I guess a week leading up to that. I think I was the final nail in the coffin on that show. But
oh yeah.
But for you to go back, it almost appeared, and maybe I was wrong, or there was like bad buffering on the web stream, but it almost appeared like you were getting a little bit emotional. Was there any emotion going on there?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
No.
Well, the thing about Loveline is, it's a couple things. First off, I had my emotional departure a decade earlier.
Right.
So I'd already left the show 10 years before that date. Sorry, I'm outside of my cell phone. So I didn't have, I'd already left once. So that was sort of number one. Number two, my experiences there with the people were pretty awesome, and the fans were pretty awesome. But in terms of Loveline in general, management and that sort of stuff, it wasn't that fantastic.
Right.
I never really felt appreciated while I was there at all. Everyone who worked there had a sort of
we know what that's like
about it. And at some point, the management, when they were renegotiating our contract, and we had, what you call favored nations. It's like, me and Jimmy did the Man Show. We got paid the same. Dr. Drew and I did Loveline. We got paid the same. At a certain point, the management said, we're going to, our contracts are coming up, and we're going to pay Drew his normal pay, and then we're going to cut yours 2/3 down to 1/3 of what you're making.
Whoa.
That's what you call basic radio math right there, Adam.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you're doing a team, and especially to the guy who does all the talking. Seemed weird to me.
And also, you went to school a lot longer than Drew did as well.
That's right. I trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, all he's got to do is just spout off medical jargon.
Yeah, by the way, who knows how much of it is accurate, right? Just making up as he goes along.
Last time we chatted, you were making your way up to the Bay Area to do a wine tasting for some Mangria on the wine train, and you presented us with a hypothetical what is sadder. So we have a brand new round that we've put together for you of what is sadder.
All right. What is sadder, muffin drop or a muffin top? So you get outside, you've got a perfectly baked muffin, and you drop it right into a puddle, or seeing a really, really unfortunate muffin top to the point that it ruins your day.
Well, wait. How does the muffin top ruin your day?
Like you see this really hot chick sitting at the bar, and all of a sudden she stands up, and the muffin top spills out everywhere.
Oh, seeing a muffin top,
or dropping your own muffin that you just purchased.
It was a clever play on words.
Yeah, no, I got it. That's right. I thought we were heading there. I just didn't hear the seeing part. Dropping the muffin into the puddle. Well, let's see. Is it a banana muffin? Is it a blueberry muffin? I gotta figure out what kind of muffin is it.
Banana nut.
I like banana nut. You know what's an underrated muffin? Lemon.
Yeah, I
Lemon
agree.
is a good muffin.
Oh, man, no one takes it. They'll sit there all day on the shelf just collecting
lemon
dust.
Poppy seed just sitting there?
If you ever get one, they're so refreshing.
Yeah. And then poppy seed's solid, too, and lemon poppy seed even better. I'm going to say the droppage of the muffin because I feel like the muffin top, I don't feel like there's a lot of scenarios where I'm like sitting at a bar staring at a chick with double D's and she looks smoking, piping hot with her long blonde hair and a cleft in her chin, and then she stands up and has this huge pan is slopping over her jean shorts. I just don't feel like that scenario is a likely one or even has happened to me.
Right.
So,
and also, the muffin top, that's not an immediate thing. Dropping a muffin happens in an instant. It ruins your day right away.
Yeah.
That's a slow build of letting yourself go, usually. All right, here's the next one. What's sadder with Adam Carolla? Empty restaurant, one of those brand new restaurants is empty. The owner's outside trying to get people to come in. He's actually out there. You can see the desperation as he's trying to wave you in. Or completely packed restaurant, every table's full, one table at the front, person eating alone.
I'm just going to say empty restaurant. I feel like everyone can do everything alone these days because everyone has their phone and their laptop and their tablet and their whatever. And I see people going solo at Starbucks and everything all day long. And, they got their fax machine and their printer hooked up and they got their assistant rolling phone calls in there. They've set up a whole business. So the sitting alone the stigma of the sitting alone has been removed by Starbucks. Because people sit in there for hours on end, sitting on their laptops with their earbuds in. And even though we think they're losers, we don't think they're lonely losers. We just think they're cheap losers. Like, hey,
they don't want to buy for Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a cubicle, dude. Like,
I'm convinced half of those people are just doing that 10-cent tea crap too, where they bring their own tea bag and then they get a 10-cent hot cup of water and then they'll sit there for hours.
Yeah, so they're just cheap losers. So the stigma of the loner has been lifted by the smart device that they have with them. But the empty restaurant, my heart always goes out to those guys because I feel like these guys have been planning on opening a restaurant since the 7th grade.
Right.
And it's been a dream of theirs. And then they had to do a lot of convincing of why the Thai-Hungarian fusion would be an awesome menu choice. And they had to talk. And now also that you don't open a restaurant, you have investors. Like there was one of your buddies from high school that did okay in, let's say, I don't know, the podcasting realm.
Right.
You borrowed $50,000 from him and you'll never pay him back. And you got that guy, and you've been talking people into this. You've been talking your wife into it. You've been trying to talk people out of their money. And, 14 years later, it has finally come to fruition, and there's not an ass in that.
And you've got your grandmother's famous Hungarian pad thai recipe that's just not selling at all.
Yes. She's got the goulash pad thai that has just been passed down from generation to generation, and no one's buying. And then furthermore, you have then the weird stigma of, because there's nobody in there, even people thinking about going in, even the lonely guy, just him and his laptop aren't going in now because there's nobody in there. And nobody in a restaurant is like the equivalent to, like, you ever go to a wedding and they have some really cool fruit pyramid display where all the mangoes at the bottom and the strawberries at the top, and the couple's name is written in boysenberry and stuff like that. You're hungry, but you're not going to be the first person to go in there and shove a scooper into it, you know what I mean, and wreck this beautiful presentation. You know what I mean? Like, you got to wait till somebody else busts the hymen on the fruit pyramid.
Right,
like,
of course.
It's so nice you don't want to touch it.
Ironically, never enough cherries on the fruit pyramid for that.
Yeah.
The same way with the empty restaurant.
The lonely laptop guy doesn't want to go into that restaurant because he thinks he'll be a loser if he does that.
Well, that's the next move. The restaurant throws the big free Wi-Fi sign up on the window, hoping it brings people in. They still don't go.
And you get way too much enthusiastic attention when you go into a restaurant. Like when you go into that store to buy clothes and there's nobody else in it, like you get bum rushed by 3 salespeople. Yeah. Don't need that.
Always good to talk sadness with Adam Carolla, and enjoy his delicious new Endless Rant IPA. CarollaDrinks.com for more information about that. All the podcasts available too. Thank you again for all of the years of Loveline that you brought us. And more importantly, thanks for finding new and delicious ways to get us drunk.
Thank you.
That band right there, the Strumbellas, will be at Live 105's BFD. We'd love to send you there as well. Tickets coming up in a bit, and an opportunity to hang with a band. It may be that band, but I will tell you right now, it is not. That's how you do a tease.
Spoiler
it's a
alert.
different band, one of the over 30 that will be in attendance at Live 105's BFD this year, including punk rock legends, Bad Religion, The Offspring. Anyway, opportunity for you to get them tickets from us coming up a little bit later this morning on the show, and a man responsible for making some of the Bay Area's best look even better than they do on the court. And I'm talking the likes of Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala. He cuts their hair. He is the barber to the stars. In fact, I was just researching this guy who's going to be in here in a moment. I think he just arrived. Says, you don't have to be a celebrity to sit in my chair as long as you feel like one when you leave.
Ooh.
Strong words.
Kevin, I think you should start going to this guy.
I think you are the first person that needs to get this mullet taken care of immediately.
I'm not getting my mullet shaved
Or
off.
else the songs will continue. Earlier this morning, got a chance to listen to this one that came in from a listener yesterday, inspired by Allie's mullet and The Offspring. Not necessarily the greatest. I mean, lyrically, it's a decent song.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Not the greatest vocals.
Looks like she drinks 40s by the train track. Size of her redneck, thick and wide. Allie could be Joe Dirt's bride, cause she's got a bad mullet. And it really looks strange. Got a bad mullet.
All right.
I feel like this guy recorded this like in his basement, and then she's just up in an upstairs area in the living room going, yeah.
I think that's him doing both parts.
You think so?
Oh, yes. That's definitely a man who tried to make him sound like a woman. I think that guy lives alone.
Well, he did a good job.
I think he lives
Very
alone and will
convincing.
live alone for a very long time. But regardless, thank you for sending the song. And more importantly, thanks for listening to the show. Now, if he were to perform that song at BART stations, he'd be eligible to potentially play BFD, because we are looking for the best busker in the Bay, someone who's playing a BART station. Maybe they're out and about. They've got their instruments. They're smashing on trash cans. And we're looking for some of the best ones out there. You guys bring them to us. We bring them in from performing. for change to something that could potentially change their lives on Live 105. It's a feel-good story already.
It is.
Trendosaurus, what is trending now? And if you want tickets from us, we mentioned Sandler, Spade, Schwartzen, and Schneider all performing at Bill Graham Civic tomorrow. We got tickets. Punchline with Patrick is coming up in moments. We will start taking your punchlines at 800-696-1053 immediately.
People are sending them in, and also people are just asking how you work out a backsit.
I believe it's squats. The only way to do it. Squats and pops.
All right. A while back, we talked to the world's fastest runners of the beer mile, where you run a mile while also chugging a beer with each lap. This was a sensation that many people didn't know about at the time, but now I guess it's gotten so big that some of these guys are making a killing because they're getting incredible sponsorship deals from doing this. For example, Lewis Kent, who's one of the guys who was in the studio with us, he graduates college next month, but who gives two craps about a college degree when you're already getting $100,000 from Brooks running shoes just for running miles while you're drunk?
We asked them when they were here if they were making any money, and I think they said they were getting free beer, and that was enough for them. They were happy that they got.
Yeah, but that was like a year ago. Look how much it's grown in a year.
It's amazing. I wish I'd known that. I would have followed up with the guy if I knew he was going to come into hundreds of thousands of dollars from just running and drinking.
Would $100,000 make you run?
No, oh God, no. Needs to be triple that, but
Okay.
I would consider it.
Okay, so that was just his first deal. Now he's been chosen as the new face of the beer mile in a 2-year contract that's worth another $100,000. And I know that's not Steph Curry Under Armour money, but it is pretty decent considering your job is to chug beer and run laps. But needless to say, the industry is growing very, very fast.
That's really
I like that we were on the
unbelievable.
forefront of it.
I'm shocked because I remember talking. Those guys were on the show. They were decent guests, and then I was very interested and talked to them a while after the interview was over, and we were.
We're talking about what kind of beer they like to do. They like to do really, really cheap domestic beers.
Yeah, they're not beer snobs or anything like that. But really, the thing that's most shocking to me is I remember thinking, are you making any money doing this? Because even if they won the race, and last time they were here, they were doing, where was the race in Oakland, right?
I think so.
Or Alameda or something. And they said that this wasn't about the money at all. And now the guy's getting paid.
Yeah, he's like, it's about. But I'm 22 and about to graduate college, and I'm got $200,000
Good
in my
for
pocket.
you. You
I know.
run and you drink, and then you get rich.
All right. You're in the tech industry. You're cool. You're taking a tech bus to work. But what else are you doing? Life is all about multitasking these days. Why should you just sit there on a bus when you can turn that entire bus into your morning spin class? Well, a company called Rebel One wants to do just that. They want to transform a bus so that it is also a morning spin class, allowing you to get that workout in as you sit in traffic, or in other words, allowing you to throw up your breakfast right after you eat it. They would be 45-minute classes, and of course, it would cost you roughly $10 to $12 per class. But when you show up to work as a disgusting, sweaty mess, it'll all be worth it. And I pitch to you, Kevin, what is sadder, a work bus spin instructor or a cruise ship dance teacher?
Oh, cruise ship dance teacher. No question. No question. I mean, they're one step
So you're
away.
like, I'm a spin instructor. Oh, yeah? What gym? It's actually a bus.
Well,
it's a moving bus.
People love talking about how great their spin instructors are. It's
I
really,
know,
it's
they
gotten
do.
super annoying.
But they can't, I bet they can't get good spin instructors on a bus.
Well, if they weren't doing a class then anyway, and they go, come on, you say inspirational things to people so they can show up at work covered in sweat and feeling like they just got butt raped, because that's what that seat feels like after you do that class. And that's what you're going to end up getting. But the person yells things like, you're good enough, keep going,
We're
you're
about
better.
to turn on Powell, so kick it up a notch.
You should be treated better. You deserve it. You earned it. Come on, resistance. I'll tell you right now, I would be the world's worst one of those people, because after about a minute in that room, I'd go, all right, let's all take a break.
Well, I mean...
and they're the opposite of that. They're like, push
spin
yourself.
class is like,
push
that's
yourself.
fine, but you're stopping and going, like in rush hour traffic on your way to work. I can just imagine how horrible that would feel. I mean, you're right. It feels horrible enough as it is. And then you put moving into the equation, and then you get to work, and you're just this sweaty, disgusting heap.
Yeah, this seems like a horrible idea, but I look forward very much to the upcoming traffic
Even people
report.
who bike to work,
Right.
They get to work and they're like, morning. And you're like, ew, take a shower.
I can't wait till Patrick reports on the backup at the Bay Bridge because of 17 spin bikes that have been flipped over.
Right,
People are sitting there sweating and dancing.
And bikes
Yes,
all over the
Trendosaurus,
place.
yes.
All right, we've learned recently that the average man lasts 5 to 6 minutes in bed. But how long do women really want men to last? Is it less? Is it more than that? Well, they got a bunch of women together ranging from ages 20 all the way to the mid-70s.
Oh, God.
And they answered all these questions. And on average, women wanted sex to last 14 minutes, so roughly twice as long as you are currently lasting.
No woman wants that.
That's what I think, but whatever.
That's insane.
I feel like maybe the mid-70s women are like, an hour and a half.
Right.
And then the women in their 20s are like, 6 minutes is good. And then it just averages to be 14 minutes. You know what I mean?
I think I speak for the average woman. I feel like I look like an average woman, and I feel like I can speak for the average woman, and I think that they would all agree 5 minutes.
I think you're an above average woman, Kevin.
Thank you. Is more than enough time for any sort of lovemaking. Maybe you want to throw in a little foreplay and conversation.
Okay,
I don't
speaking
count
of foreplay, how long do you think that should last?
1 minute.
Agreed. No, they want women on average want it to last 19 minutes,
No.
which is an ungodly long amount of time. But
these are all wrong.
Apparently, when men were asked the same questions, they wanted all of this to last longer as well. They want to spend about 18 minutes on each activity. I don't know if that's 18 minutes at each base, but they want it to last long too. So we all want sex to be longer than it is. It's hard when it's hard, you know?
Well said. I think you summed up your entire point by saying it's hard when it's hard. Well, beautiful. Thank you. All right, Trending Source, much appreciated.